So, winter's coming? Well, at least here in Northern Hemisphere. Which means shorter days, less sunlight, more freaking cold, you know, usual. Oh, and there's also this tendency people have to look at the past year, do some soul searching, figure out what worked out, what didn't, that kind of thing. Us gamers, the peak of human evolution, obviously, don't have to bother with such pointless details, because everything's going splendidly. Hence, God sent Jeff, who created the Game Awards for us, so we have something to argue about while washing down the Doritos with gallons of Mountain Dew.
I love you, Jeff.
But, not every year is as stacked with huge releases of exceptional quality as this one, and therefore I cannot not share my nuggets of wisdom regarding the GOTY discussions. You know, one of my better ideas this summer was to catch up on some of the games in my backlog. One of such games being Remedy's Control, with both of its DLCs, a game I knew I gotta play before Alan Wake 2 comes out to fully appreciate the long-awaited sequel and its promise of embracing the Remedy connected universe concept. And good thing I did, not just because it's a really great game with rather unconventional take on storytelling and highly enjoyable gameplay. See, this year when it comes to high-profile AAA releases, my holy trinity of the most anticipated games consisted of these three. I was confident in two of them that they're totally gonna deliver, and thankfully Bethesda willingly shipped a rather uninspired and outdated product, just so I can now boast that I was spot on with my guess. Thanks, Todd. Obviously, in case of Phantom Liberty, involving it in GOTY discussions probably bending the rules a bit, considering it's technically an expansion, although longer than a lot of standalone games. But hey, this is my personal game of the year we were talking about. There ain't no boundaries here. Your GOTY could be the PC port of the first Last of Us and it would be completely fine, and like if it really landed there with the nomination and the entire Twitter would lose its shit. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because Phantom Liberty wouldn't be the one for me this year anyway. And it's not because I didn't like it, I completely love it actually. And I reckon there will eventually be a video diving into that, hopefully sooner than 3 years after its launch, like I did with the base game. Regardless, you know why it's not Phantom Liberty? Yup, Alan Wake 2, baby. The weirdest, most unapologetically odd experience money can get you on the gaming market right now. It's everything I wanted and expected from Remedy and much more, because, you see, I'm not really a survival horror connoisseur. I feel more at home in the action genre like Control, Max Payne and to a degree even the first Alan Wake. But I knew that this will not be your standard survival horror game. Don't get me wrong, it's got everything the fans of the genre expect and love. Tense and creepy moments, adrenaline-fueled combat encounters, fair share of jump scares, and this whole package is aided by impressive score and sound design that heighten the tension. But it's also so much more.
Welcome back to the show. So, Alan, as the creator of the character, how do you feel about this?
Sorry, what?
In my wannabe critic tweet where I gave a quick review, I said, "It's a video game, an art house movie, a horror book, and a rock EP. Hashtag Alan Wake 2 is one of the most innovative, bold, and thoughtful games I've had the pleasure to play. Ever. It knows what it wants, and it achieves it with confidence and grace." Indeed a brilliant summary. Do you know what makes Alan Wake 2 so great? It's not all those things I talked about. It's not the gorgeous graphics or high quality motion and performance capture combined with top tier acting. It's not its atmospheric setting of a quirky small town straight out of Twin Peaks or the nightmarish nighttime New York City inspired by Scorsese's Taxi Driver. It's not the smart level design that allows Alan to change his surroundings with a snap of his fingers or rather a click of his typewriter. And it's not even this. The caseboard, probably my favorite mechanic in the entire game. While all of this is vital to the game's success to really sell the story it's trying to tell, the key ingredient is that this is first and foremost a Remedy game, which basically means that it's weird, like really super weird and in a very finished way. It's filled with so many references to their previous works and the whole narrative is just delightfully meta on so many layers. You know how Matrix Resurrections played with the idea of meta-narrative and all it really revealed was that Lana Wachowski didn't want to make it? Here it's the exact opposite. This feels like the game Remedy always wanted to do. It takes everything I loved about the original and Control and pushes it forward in a way I didn't think was possible. Is it flawless? Most definitely not. I'd argue that in some places the otherwise perfect pacing falls off a bit. There's also a moment where the game tries to recreate a similar scene from the original Alan Wake and throws a lot of enemies at you in one heroic crescendo, but the controls are suited for fighting a limited number of them and the final experience can be a bit too hectic as a result. I also didn't like the upgrade system, especially on Saga's side, and the game could have easily done without it, in my opinion. I could nitpick a few more things like this, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that Alan Wake 2 takes horror, comedy, tragedy, a noir detective story, a musical, and many more, and it molds and combines them in a way that's fresh, innovative, and never seen before. And that's why it totally is my 2023 Game of the Year.
From what I've gathered, you grew up nice and sheltered with mama's pretty stories and your own made up fury. And mama gave me a magic clicker.